So you've done the self-help and you've dipped into some personal development, but now you ask the question, now what? What can you do? Well, if you want to escape the apathy, step right this way. So twice a year, I teach a course called Autonomy. It's a 12-week personal development and training course. What people get out of it is multifaceted. There's curriculum, there's exercises, there's camaraderie, you make new friends. There's a whole lot of interesting things. We're going to hear a sample from the course right now, and let's take a look at the value these students are getting. One of his big concepts is your idea is good at having your brain is good at having ideas, not at holding them or like delivering them to you when you need them. So you have to get them out onto like an index card. And then you would put this, oh, I have an idea for that party coming up and I want to bring some sort of gift. Let me put this idea in that folder. And when that thing comes up, I'll be like, oh, here's the idea for that day, right? That's the thing that your brain has trouble doing. What my brain is really good at doing is getting the ideas out onto these cards. What my schedule is not good at doing is taking these cards once a week, putting them all out. And it's like playing solitaire with yourself. And I get a stack of 10 cards over here. This might be a PowerPoint presentation. It could be a podcast. It could be a movie in the future. I then have to make decisions on like, when are these cards useful and when do I play them? Oh, I can mention them this week in the podcast. Or no, I have to wait 3 weeks till I have a meeting with that person. And then I have to find these cards in that day. And I usually just stick them in my keyboard or something. So I'll randomly find them when I look like, where did I put it? Like, oh, I put it in the keyboard. But so I can definitely refine some of those areas. But the gist is doing 10% of what he's teaching is going to change your life.
Awesome.
Right? Yeah. So
yeah, I appreciate hearing that because it's like a massive system. Yeah. So I always want to make things perfect.
Yeah. Okay. So you want to make things perfect. Do you have a label maker yet?
No.
All right. Label maker is a good investment. It'll cost you like $30 probably. I have a brother. I don't know what the model number is. And the tapes are reasonable. And I've used it. I've had this one for 10, 15 years. It runs on batteries or it has a plug. Okay. Label maker and some folders, because you still have to deal with paper unless you're like my dad and he scans everything in and throws it away. Right. So he's a paperless.
I really like paper. I am electronically very knowledgeable, and there's something about working with paper which is totally different. And like you said, you can lay it out like solitaire and see it all and move it around, and it never dies.
So I still use file folders, and I have filing cabinets, and then I have a thing on my desk that holds like 10 folders of things I use all the time. Maybe having every label maker, and plus I use it all over in the house now that I have a label maker and I can properly label things. And I have had a label maker since like 1997 when I started working in the corporate world, because I also, if it wasn't David Allen back then, there was somebody else that I learned time management from, and I at least had labels and folders by the time I met David Allen's work. What are the other things that are super? I changed the 2-minute rule to the 5-minute rule. You can get a lot of stuff done in 5 minutes that you don't, because otherwise you're scheduling something. Oh, that might take 8 minutes, 10 minutes. I'm scheduling it for Wednesday then. Why not just do it now? Like, or not right this second, but later today, I'm just going to knock this thing out. Right. I'm trying to think what else, but as you're encountering it, so that it's cyclical, if you just pick up like a couple percentage of what he's teaching and then revisit it, you'll add on more. And so me, over the years revisiting it, I've been able to build out that system pretty good, but I was able to build it out 65% right away with a couple strategic purchases. Like I switched over to Notecards before I met David Allen, because Mark Lombardi's work was all on Notecards. So I was like, that's a good idea, because you can shuffle them. Whereas a spiral ring notebook, I feel like you get many ideas on a page and you can't shuffle the ideas effectively.
Right.
David Allen suggests legal note paper, ubiquitous thing that just rip off a page and put it in your inbox to process it later. I like that, but I also like if you use a 3-hole punch with that, because now you can take those papers, not have to retranscribe them into your journal. You can just add them into your journal with a 3-hole punch if you use a 3-ring binder. And so I'm sure what I use is a hodgepodge of various time management, Franklin Covey people and Timekeeper, all the things I've used in the past 30 years. And there's different, I guess, useful things to it. Like I never liked the proprietary timekeeping systems where it's like they got 7 holes in the page and you can't find a way to make the same thing. Yeah. I always ended up making my own. So I would learn a system and then I would go make my own, like on the computer, and put my own pages in the notebook. So I'd have tracking for projects, planning, scheduling, daily notes, mission statement, like all that stuff in one 3-ring binder, like they did in the olden days. Because the olden days it works. You don't need electricity, and it's just there. So yeah, congratulations on stepping up, on adding those new skills. You could have watched like a movie instead, right?
Yeah.
And watching a movie would be a lot easier, not nearly as challenging, but now you're going to appreciate that as your environment comes into tune with what you're thinking, and you have around you what you need to do your job kind of only, and move the distractions to places where you go for entertainment and distractions and all sorts of other good things you can learn from David Allen.
Having the freedom to be in control of my time and my workload has always been really important to me. So I took autonomy and I got some high value skills that'll let me work anywhere at any time. I got the skills that'll let me overcome the problems and challenges that come up in my day-to-day life. And I overcame my fear and my self-doubt, so I'm not procrastinating anymore. You can take your scarcity mindset and switch it out for an abundance mindset at getautonomy.info. Check it out today.